The Blast from Our Past Network.
Hey everybody, it's me, Corey.
And Zach.
We wanted to tell you all about our exclusive Patreon tier called A Tour de Force, where each season we go through a different auteur's complete filmography in order from beginning to end.
If you sign up now for just $5 a month, you unlock our complete back catalog for John Carpenter, Don Coscarelli, and William Lustig. That's over 50 episodes.
And we are currently going through Larry Cohen's filmography, so you'll get all those episodes as well.
Thank you to everyone that supports Podcasting After Dark on Patreon.
You keep the show going. And as always,
we'll catch you on the dark side.
Lock your doors, close your windows, turn out your lights, for chills and thrills await you. It's time for Podcasting After Dark with your hosts, Corey Stevenson and Zach Schaefer. Stay with a friend, say your prayers as grisly ghouls close in to seal your doom. Tonight's episode, Nightmare City, with special guest David Irons, starring Hugo Stiglitz, Laura Trotter, and Maria Rosaria Omaggio.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to Podcasting After Dark, the #1 cult movie podcast on the internet. I am one half of the PAD team, Corey, a.k.a. Sleazy C. Joined with me, as always, my brother from another mother, Zach the Total Stack and Schaefer. And we have our third brother from another mother across the pond, David Irons. What's up, buddy?
How we doing there, guys and girls? It's me, back from the UK. This is my interpretation of myself as performed by Zach Schaefer on the other side of the pond.
I told y'all that's what it sounds like.
I don't sound like that. I don't sound like
That's what's in my head. Or it's, when I talk to my wife, I'm like, I'm David Irons, see?
You make me sound like bloody Crocodile Dundee.
I know.
These are pretty much
up,
the
buddy?
only accents we can do without getting canceled, you know?
Yeah, pretty much so. It's true.
Yeah,
it's true.
So we had to have David Irons on to talk about Nightmare City because you were the one that said we need to watch this movie. And you're 100% correct.
At Christmas. It was a Christmas movie.
Absolutely, buddy.
Sure.
I bought this on your recommendation. I watched it, like months ago or something. And I said, oh, shit, I love this. And I can't wait to record and talk to Zach about it. But I couldn't do it without you. You had to be on this episode. So here you are. Umberto Lenzi's Nightmare City.
Umberto Lenzi. Let's come on. If you're going to do the accents, go Umberto
Lenzi.
Umberto Lenzi. That's David Irons. I had a song queued up for this one and everything. I was like, take me down to Nightmare City where the zombies are toxic and the girls are pretty.
Nice.
Oh, please take me home. There you go.
That was a good one, buddy. I like that a lot.
Been practicing since last Tuesday.
Perfect. Well, David, kick us off, my man. What's this movie mean to you? When was the first time you watched it, and why do you like it? Is it because of all the titties?
Well, actually,
real quick, I counted the titties when I watched it for my notes. Wasn't as many as I thought. There were only 5, but that's still a nice amount. Yeah, it seems like more, doesn't it?
Individually or in pairs?
10 individually.
Okay. Nightmare City. Yeah, I had this book. I'm going to hold this up. The worst thing you could possibly ever do on a podcast.
I have that book, Book of the Dead.
That book? Yeah,
I do.
Book of
I
the
have
Dead
it
by Jamie Russell. Yeah, and I picked this up because I love zombie films.
Great
back
book.
in the day. Really good book, and Nightmare City's in there. And this is early 2000s, and back then it was so hard to find some of these movies. You had torrent sites and things like that, and that was about it. And I ended up importing, which I've got here, a Dutch DVD of Nightmare City called Attack of the Atomic Zombies.
Yep. That's one of like the 10 different names this movie has.
10 different titles, yeah. And I got the thing, and this is probably, I kind of like this version better than the Arrow release because you get the whole soundtrack embedded in there, and you get more tracks on this version of the soundtrack than you do on the official soundtrack. It's like an expanded version. It's huge. And I saw the film, and I this is kind of probably a controversial thing to say, but I think even though this is not technically a zombie film, which we're probably going to get into.
Yeah, we're definitely going to get into that.
Yeah. But I feel that this is probably one of the only other zombie-like films that has the scope and scale of Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah.
Like, Dawn of the Dead's got the scope and scale in one space, and that's the shopping mall. And with this, it's got the scope and scale. Is he dying?
Yeah.
Did your coffee go down the wrong hole?
I'm out of here, guys.
Nightmare City!
But I think it's got, because the amount of locations and like you literally do feel like it is a city with the kind of locations they hit in it. And it feels big. It feels like a big film. And a lot of these zombie films, it's like farmhouses or, do you know what I mean? Like apartment blocks or just smaller locations. So I've always kind of impressed by that. And I love the soundtrack. And I love the Nightmare Titty.
David, I did read online that there were some issues with the Arrow release using
100%.
not a cut of the film, but a print of the film that might not have been optimal, I believe.
Yeah, there was literally the vinegar syndrome problem, that it's been sitting there so long that it started to yellow. And when you watch the Arrow version of it, you can see at the beginning it flickers in and out. It's got like a weird yellow hue that kind of bleeds in and bleeds out. And at the beginning of the Arrow disc, they put a disclaimer on there just saying that, you know, like we know this is an issue, but it's the best source we could use for this Blu-ray. But weirdly enough, on this original DVD, which is from like 10 years before that, the picture quality is fine.
Well, I think the damage can happen in that 10 years. Like, I think the deterioration can. Now, Zach, do we have the Kino version? I picked mine up from, I believe, Kino's website, but I don't think it's Kino. It's like Red Alert or something, some other label on it. But I left mine in the living room, of course, my copy.
Mine's right there. I can't grab it.
Zach, did I buy you a copy? You said...
So the version I have is the one that David sent me. With slipcover, by the way.
That's crazy. I thought I bought you Truck Turner one Christmas.
You did, and you also got me Nightmare City, and you're like, you have to watch this movie. And you got me the Blu-ray, which I believe. I'm just pulling it up right now.
It's the Arrow Blu-ray, yeah? It's got to be the Arrow.
It's not the Arrow, no.
Is it not?
No, it's...
I ran and got mine. It's Raro Video? Cinema Art Visions?
Right, same. It's got a slipcover, too.
Okay, but I picked up mine, because David didn't send me one. I picked up mine from...
Well, you didn't know what I had to do for that, Corey, so...
Oh, boy. Ha-ha! But yeah, so I picked this up from Kino's website. But so is this an imprint of Kino or maybe a partnership or something like that? Raro Video.
I think it's probably a partnership, but
the picture quality on this looked fine.
Yeah, this is the one I watched too. I will say there is a optional English dubbing on the YouTube version if anyone wants to find that one. It's slightly altered from the original. It's like slightly edited. Not too much, but the dubbing is hilarious. It actually makes it 10 times better, in my opinion. It actually adds to the wackiness of this film.
I didn't know that.
When I was pulling trailers, I was like, "Oh no, is this trailer going to be in all Italian?" And I won't sort of be able to play it on the podcast. But I did find some trailers that were in English, so I guess that dub is floating around there pretty prevalently. Well, when it came out in America as City of the Living Dead, or City of the Walking Dead, wasn't that in English? Like, didn't that have an English dub back in the day on VHS?
I'm not sure, David.
I have no. How do I know when it came out in America?
David, you remember when you were living in the U.S.?
Was I was hardly there. Let's just put it that way.
Actually, David was living in an apartment with two ladies, and he had this downstairs landlord who would always pop by and think that David was like a little twinkle in his toes, and then he had a wacky neighbor named Larry.
Spoiler alert: they both weren't women, but that's between us, okay?
Come on, knock on our door. Which doorbell should I hit? Sorry.
All right. Well, before we get into all of it, I have a little bit of a background, and maybe David can also flesh out some of this. But first released December 11th, 1980, Nightmare City, also known as City of the Walking Dead in the U.S., Nightmare over the Contaminated City in Italy, Invasion by the Atomic Zombies in Spain, And Nightmare Titties by us here at PAD.
That's you.
Is a co-production between Italy and Spain with additional backing from Mexico. Filmed in Spain, Nightmare City has been recognized as a forerunner of the fast zombie trope and is cited as the chief inspiration for Robert Rodriguez's Planet Terror. David, anything you can add to this?
Well, it was all true.
I should say anything I missed on that.
No, I don't think you did.
Film?
No, I think that's pretty much. I think the thing that I always think about with this film is on the DVD. I don't know if it's on the Arrow release. There's like an hour-long, really badly filmed with a DV camera interview with Umberto Lenzi, and he talks about is it on there?
It's on. Yeah. I started up, and the guy it's terrible. The production quality is terrible, and the guy goes he basically the interviewer says, and he looks like he's like 20 or something.
Well,
he's like why is Nightmare City your favorite movie, and why is that it's something terrible? And then Umberto Lenzi is like, well, Nightmare City is my favorite movie, and I'm just like, no, I'm not watching this. I'm not. If this is how this is gonna be, I'm not watching this.
I've actually endured that a couple of times all the way through because this where I was doing the impression earlier on of Umberto Lenzi, he references himself about 6 times during that interview, and he's "Has been me, Umberto Lenzi." It's just like, wow, what a wonderful way to say your own name. But he talks about, and I always think about Nightmare City, and because of that interview, he talks about the star Hugo Stiglitz, and he didn't necessarily want him. Yeah. That was definitely pushed on by like the Mexican and Spanish production team rather than the Italian. And the Italians wanted John Saxon. John Saxon. John Saxon was the one.
It would have
been. I know, and that's the thing I always think. It's just like it would have been so much better if they had John. That would have probably been in like horror terms one of John Saxon's best horror films because there's so much for him to do. Way more than like Nightmare on Elm Street and stuff.
And because I'd read online too that they also wanted Franco Nero and Fabio Testi, but it is interesting that Umberto Lenzi would go on and work with John Saxon in Nightmare Beach 9 years later, 1989. Yeah. That movie came out, which I have that Kino as well. That movie's a lot of fun. I fucking love it. I love it.
Yeah, that's a great one. Yeah, I genuinely think that Nightmare City is Umberto Lenzi's best film. I know loads of people like the cannibal films and that kind of stuff, but I think this has aged really well, Nightmare City, because I think it's aged well in retrospect because you've gone to that point where you've had like running zombies and you can kind of look back at this thing and like you were saying as the beginning of that, and I think it's a good variation of it compared to 28 Days Later. Like the 28 Days Later thing, they're definitely running zombies, but in this. And in that interview, he keeps going on. He goes, when I talk to Quentin Tarantino, he says, it's a zombie movie. This isn't a zombie movie. This is Contaminated Man. And I get completely what he's saying, and especially watching it this time, because something that I picked up on it was zombies, like we're talking about Dawn of the Dead in the mall and everything, they pretty much run on emotion. Yeah. Where they go back to a place where, the mall meant something to them once. So they go back to it. And with these Nightmare City guys, they're very strategic in what they do. Like there's a plan and they kind of come together as a pack, don't they, and work together. It's like what you were saying when you was like listing off the locations. We're going to hit the TV station. We're going to hit the hospital. We're going to hit the power plant. We're going to hit all these things and completely disable a society because we're taking over. And the zombies don't seem to. It's just like basic instinct survival based on emotion. But these guys definitely have a purpose.
And it's also too with like their makeup and everything. When I first watched this movie months ago, like 6 months ago, I was like, oh, the makeup looks kind of crappy. Is like, this is kind of silly looking. But then you find out sort of halfway through the movie that it's technically radiation burns because their body is like, irradiated essentially. And I was like, oh, so there was actually like thought behind why they look this way and everything. And then, yeah, like he was very adamant about calling them infected or contaminated. But I'm not going to lie, I kind of like the Atomic Vampire title as well. They don't really adhere to the whole vampire thing, but like, you know, they can be out in sunlight and everything, so it's a little misleading there, but like they do still need to drink your blood to replace theirs that's like irradiated and everything. And then there's even that little allusion at the end where Anna talks about how, you know, the church will be safe because medieval legends say that vampires and demons can't enter the house of God or whatever. You know, obviously she's wrong, but like I like these atomic vampire ideas, but I think at the end of the day, probably infected or contaminated works. And then in all of my notes, when I took the notes, I took it as zombie, but then I went through and, you know, control find and replaced everything with infected, because it really does work better. And yeah, I mean, 28 Days Later is completely owes everything to this. And at least Planet Terror, at least Robert Rodriguez and Quentin Tarantino have like said that Planet Terror is kind of like an homage to this movie.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah, and I would say the Toxic Avenger owes its look to some of these zombies as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah,
I agree. But Zach, can we go back to Hugo Stiglitz? Because my only note on him is he runs like he has a stick up his ass. Like he
acts like he's got a stick up his ass.
I'm not the biggest fan of Hugo Stiglitz. Like, I don't hate him in this movie, but like, yeah, John Saxon, holy shit! If it was him instead, it's just he has like. Hugo Stiglitz has like one look, like one facial expression the entire time. And yeah, like there's a few scenes where you see a full body shot of him running, and I'm like, he just looks like a puppet, like someone's fucking hand is shoved right up his ass.
Well, I don't hate him either, but I do hate him when he hits his girlfriend or his wife, you know, because he really hits her. Like he's supposed to like smack her, but he co-cocks her.
Or when he plows through the old couple running up the stairs and like almost knocks them over when there's a whole like opening next to them, and he just turns around, he's like, out of my way. And I'm like, what an asshole.
To give everybody who's listening this an idea of what he looks like, picture a young child wearing a fake beard and fake hair, and it looks just like that, where, you know, they're like, have a real baby face, but then they've got this fake, you know, costume hair on their face. Kind of looks like that. Like, that doesn't do it for me. I'm not throwing shade to the guy. He doesn't work for me. I would have loved to have seen a Saxon instead.
I got one more thing, and I notice it every fucking time I watch the movie. When him and Anna are at the gas station drinking their little cup of, you know, coffee, when he talks to her, he's got the little drip running down his little pouty lower lip. He's like, this is good coffee, actually. And I'm like, what? How do drinks like that? Who has coffee like running down their lip? I hate it.
He's got like cute little chubby cheeks, and you know, you want to pinch him.
Fucking Hugo Stiglitz, man. Bro, we're on roast mode.
Sorry, Hugo. We know you're still alive, so
he's still alive because he was only 6 years old when he made this film with a
exactly. Dun, dun, dun. Yep. Yeah. So Laura Trotter plays Dr. Anna Miller. I'm only going to name a few people that are worth noting. You know, Italian actor, you know, did a lot of Italian movies.
Yeah. It seems like the two main female leads are Italian and the two male leads are Spanish and Mexican.
Yeah, I mean the next female actress, she's got the best name. She plays Sheila, but her real name is Maria Rosaria Omaggio.
It is.
Sorry, Omaggio. Yeah, she's an Italian actress. And then I mean, look, you got a lot of Italian people in this. Francisco Rabal. He's passed away. He's Spanish, right?
Yeah.
He was in Tie Me Up, Tie Me Down. Great movie by Almodovar. Sorcerer. Great movie by Friedkin. And but Mel Ferrer has a small role in this. He plays a general. General Munchausen. No, I'm kidding. General Murchison. And he's the father of Miguel Ferrer and the uncle of George Clooney. Clooney.
The TV actor.
Yeah, the TV actor. You might have heard of him. He was on Facts of Life. So anyways, there's a whole plethora of sidekick little pop-up characters that actor-wise are not worth noting, but when their scenes come up, like the kid in the hospital and
Jim.
Yeah, Jim, the world's greatest. Spoiler: Jim dies. So
poor Jim.
Don't you think it was a shame they didn't actually fulfill his dream when he's going, I have this dream that my leg was cut off in an explosion. Do you think that was in the original script?
Well, that's not a Make-A-Wish, David. That's not a Make-A-Wish. I think that they want to go with. You want your leg cut off, kid? Don't you want to meet John Cena? No, I want my leg cut off. Okay, we can make that happen.
We already talked briefly about Umberto Lenzi's career, but obviously Cannibal Ferrer and is that you?
No, Ferox.
Ferox. That's one of those words I've only ever read and I've never actually said. When I was a kid, I pronounced chaos as chose and I pronounced rogue as ragu.
Wow, that's amazing. I got to interrupt you really quickly, Corey, and just say that Umberto Lenzi's career started in like the 60s, and he was doing, more traditional like Italian thrillers and westerns and didn't really dive into the horror genre until the late 70s, early 80s. But then when he did dive into it, it got really intense and gross. And yeah, Cannibal Ferox is considered, that one and Cannibal Holocaust are hard to watch. I think Cannibal Holocaust the one where they kill the turtles like alive?
Yeah. That wasn't him though. That was this guy that did House Roberto.
Yeah,
Diodato.
Yes,
yeah.
But in like similar vein, like these.
It's the same thing. I'm not a fan of those Italian cannibal. They're not my bag. I don't get anything out of them. The only thing I like is they've got like 10-star soundtracks. Soundtracks for those films are fantastic, but the movies themselves, I can completely live without watching those ever again.
I feel like those are like early forms of Hostel. They're just like torture porn.
For sure.
And as a kid, I had zero interest in seeing any of those. Zach, had you ever seen Nightmare Beach?
I never saw Nightmare Beach, but I did see Cannibal Ferox and the other one, Cannibal Holocaust or whatever.
Yeah.
And I went to the Beverly. New Beverly for a double feature, and they gave out prop barf bags from the original screenings. They had them on hand.
Wow.
And I'm not gonna lie, there were definitely times when I think I needed one. I didn't make it through both films. I walked out halfway through the second one.
Yeah,
it's just hard to watch, and I don't like Eli Roth's cup of tea is not mine.
Yeah, what did he do? Green Inferno, wasn't that his like sort of homage to that?
Yeah,
I didn't see that.
It's all like it just that doesn't do it for me. It's
not sexy, Jack.
It's not sexy, but I will say you mentioned the soundtrack. The Stelvio Cipriani does the score for this one, Nightmare City.
Yeah.
And that music, I believe, one of the pieces from this was used in Death Proof. Sorry, not Death Proof, but Planet Terror. It might have been Death Proof as well. Anyways, the guy, like, these movies, if they don't have good stories or good, acting, the score is always choice, as I like to say. Death Proof, I believe it's in Death Proof. One of the songs, I don't know if it's from this particular movie, but it is used in Death Proof.
I need to rewatch Planet Terror. I think I've seen it once on post. I saw it in the theater. I mean, I saw the Grindhouse double feature in the theater.
Yeah.
And I remember loving Planet Terror more than Death Proof. But then upon rewatching them separately, like not together, I actually liked Death Proof more than Planet Terror. But knowing that this has, Planet Terror has a connection to this movie, I really want to rewatch it now because it has probably been 20 years at this point. Jesus Christ, like almost 20 years essentially since it came out.
That's scary.
That's
that
fucking
is
insane.
Terrifying. That's really, really scary.
Dude, I mean, wasn't Back to the Future, didn't he just go back 25 years? So like technically if
Yeah,
Marty
he did,
McFly goes back now, he just goes back to 2001. Like that's fucking insane to me.
He can go back in time to the premiere of Grindhouse.
Yeah. Wow. Holy shit. All right. Well, Zach, any other cast and crew notable you want to talk about, or do you want to move on to the just general discussion stuff?
Yeah, we can move on to the general. I do want to follow up with the Italian scores though, because I own a lot of vinyl of I'm sure our boy Lee Germani does too, but of these Italian scores, that there's something so atmospheric and beautiful about them, whether it is a Western or a thriller or a horror, like they always capture, they're standalone soundtracks on their own. The opening to this movie is just so good, where, the beats are going, you're just like, is the whole movie going to be like this? No, but the music really gets you into a good spot.
Oh, absolutely.
I had a conversation with someone once and they said, what's so great about these Italian horror films? And I was like, well, the cinematography and the soundtracks.
And the nudity.
And the nudity. And beyond that, I probably couldn't say the screenplays. I think that's it. I think the cinematography and the music, top 10. Screenplays, well, maybe. They exist. They happened. They had a script.
I mean, we have David Irons here, who is an amazing, prolific writer and is so good with his words and his fingers when he's typing, y'all. But
you're giving away all the secrets, Zach.
I gotta say, we had a similar conversation with Stephen Kostansky in regards to like Conquest by Fulci. So many Italian films, it's all about the atmosphere. And
yeah, for sure.
The vibe,
I described this movie on paper. I described this movie to Bodhi. He didn't watch it, but I described it to him. And he's like, oh, that sounds awesome. I go, yeah, the description and the idea that it puts in your head is amazing. And then you watch it and you're like, okay, but here's the thing. Like, when you walk away still thinking about it, that's an important film. If you're still thinking about it after, it's an important film.
Yeah, I think this movie would make an awesome comic series. Like, well, they essentially did it with The Walking Dead, but, they could do different things with this, especially with the way that the quote-unquote zombies are. But real quick, I'll just give everyone a real small plot summary here. When a military plane carrying a horde of irradiated, bloodthirsty people makes an emergency landing at a small airport, a nameless European city is plunged into chaos as the citizens fight for survival. Reporter Dean Miller and his wife Dr. Anna Miller must flee the doomed metropolis while the military desperately tries to contain the situation. To make matters worse, reality might not be what it seems, as our heroes experience deja vu and a sense that this has all happened before.
Deja vu.
Top of the news this evening is speculation concerning the real facts behind the Department of Health announcement about a radioactive spill supposed to have occurred yesterday at the state nuclear plant. Information from an official source, which reached our newsroom this afternoon, stresses the seriousness of the situation.
Mr. Miller, something very serious has happened at the airport. But until we conclude our investigation and take the necessary countermeasures, nothing is going to leak out. Nothing.
This individual and others like him have been subjected to strong doses of atomic radiation, which increase their physical capacities beyond the norm. In short, it's a kind of a Superman. This is Channel 5 TV station. We're being attacked. For God's sakes, send somebody fast.
God help us all.
So, David.
Yes?
Sorry.
I love this. Zach, when you do silly things, I just get a real kick out of just sitting there, like the screen's frozen and just watch. I love that. I love those awkward silences. I'm sorry. That was all me.
David, let's talk a little bit more about the quote-unquote zombies, the quote-unquote infected or contaminated. I love the fact that the when they had a body, the military had a body, they tested to make sure that it wasn't extraterrestrial. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. But at the end of the day, it does still follow the same trope of you kill them by shooting them in the head. And that's pretty much it. And that's the standard, idea to this day. And that's sort of obviously a post Night of the Living Dead, Romero, thing that's just, and Zach and I, we've talked about this before with all those interesting movies that took place between Night of the Living Dead and Dawn of the Dead, like Zombie, like, I don't know, Zombie was after, I think, but, Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things, yada, yada, yada. But here it's solidified because it's post Night of the Living Dead, post Dawn of the Dead. It's solidified. You shoot them in the head, they're dead. But David,
yes,
more about the zombies. Anything else that we want to discuss there?
I think George Romero kicked himself until the day he died that he didn't write the line "aim for the brain."
Aim for the brain. I wrote that
down. I know. As soon as I heard it, I was like, Romero wished he wrote that line.
I wrote that.
Definitely.
I wrote that and coal shoot down.
No, he just got. They're all dead. They're all messed up.
Exactly.
Like, oh, but that's not as good. It's not as good. It's not as good. Sorry. Doesn't look good on a t-shirt.
It doesn't. It doesn't look good enough. And I have to say, back in the day when I used to bootleg T-shirts in the early 2000s, I used to have an Aim for the Brain Nightmare City T-shirt. So
nice.
Whoever owns the rights, you didn't hear that. It's fine.
I'm telling you right now, you take a Guns N' Roses logo, but you put like the zombies on there instead of the Guns N' Roses skulls, and then put Nightmare City on it. Gold.
Nightmare City, Aim for the Brain.
Yeah, there you go.
We've just made $1 million. Okay, everyone. Thanks for coming.
It's a jump to conclusions, man.
What do I think of the zombies in this? I think something interesting, like what I was talking about before, about how they differ. The contaminated men differ from zombies. I think the one scene that kind of solidifies that, and you can make comparisons to Dawn of the Dead, is when there's the blonde nurse outside the hospital.
Yeah.
And there's just one of these guys, these contaminated men, and he just zones in on her in the middle of all this chaos. And it becomes like this personal attack. And he's like, oh, I want her. And he goes for her, makes like a big kind of scene out of it by killing her in the middle of that pond with the other creatures. And the other creatures are watching and enjoying it, what he's doing to her.
Yeah.
And you don't get that, anything as like a personalized attack with the zombie. And the only thing I could think of, what kind of stands out from Dawn of the Dead, is the Hare Krishna zombie. But that's not even like a personalized. He's not really going for. It's not make this beeline like, oh, I want you because there's something. It feels sexual in the Nightmare City thing.
Yeah.
It feels like, oh, there's something. I'll look at you like human and blonde and pretty and in your nurse's outfit, and I'm this disgusting, vile thing that's going to come over there and just destroy everything about you. And I think that's kind of the difference between zombies and contaminated men, because there's nothing like that. The zombies are just anything that's like living, they just lumber towards. But that thing in that scene, and having like the spectacle of other creatures watching and enjoying that moment, really changes them in so many ways from zombies. Big time.
And not like swarming them either. I did note that.
Yeah.
There's one that's just sort of watching. My favorite zombie in the hospital attack is the one that gracefully jumps over a desk and then in one motion dodges a baton swing and then takes that guy out. I was like, that dude's like a karate zombie. That was pretty awesome. Zach, what are your thoughts on the zombies in general in this?
Well, yeah, I like this idea that they kind of zone in on people, like David was saying. It honestly reminds me of, and I don't want this to sound, I'm just going to say it reminds me of like homeless people, or like people who are on drugs, and like people
Zach
who
lives
are...
in LA, everybody. So
yeah, I mean,
yeah, it makes sense.
We're reaching into his reality right now.
We got a dude who lives, he just walks up and down the street screaming and yelling. He's got Tourette's, and hey, that sucks that he's got that. But there's, great ideas come out of chaos, right? And so I wonder if, like, you see people, I remember hearing stories of friends who are walking down the street in New York City, and just out of nowhere, a person comes up and hits them in the side of the head. Why? No reason, just because they were just, pissed off. And so they zoned in on one person that kind of was like, oh, that's the person, for no reason, whether they're on drugs or whether they've got psychological, something going on psychologically. And I have
a random attack becomes like a personal attack, doesn't it?
Totally.
Yeah, I get it.
And it's random for that person who got attacked, but it's personal for the person in their mind, which they may be out of sorts. But I like that idea of like, that's where these zombie characters come from. I think, like, on paper, again, I'll go back to the idea of this movie is so much more interesting to me because it felt fresh, especially for like 1980, 1981 when it came out.
Yeah, and it's just the idea of a plane, like a mysterious plane landing. I love the setup to this, and it's like 10 minutes into the movie, this movie is so quick to get to the point, and then it just runs. No pun intended. But like, just like having this plane land, no one can communicate with it. It just sits there on the tarmac for a few minutes, without even opening up, and everyone's just kind of like, what's going on here? Why, how did this happen? And then all of a sudden it opens up, and a bunch of murderous, people come running out. Like, what a cool concept that is. Like, what a freaky idea that is. And it is interesting because I feel like, sorry, Umberto Lenzi, I'm going to say zombie. It's just so much easier to say than infected.
He's dead, brah.
So fuck him. It works.
He's all messed up.
He's dead. He's all messed up. It just rolls off your tongue better than infected or contaminated. But yeah, I like that setup. And like Zach, you said, everything for me, it's like, there's a reason that like Resident Evil 2, the video game, I loved more because it's like you're in the city's overrun and destroyed. As a kid, loving Dawn of the Dead, and even Day of the Dead, I wanted to just be like in the city, just shooting zombies, and this feels like that. And there's some interesting beats in the World War Z movie that do that, and then stuff like that. But this is like, for me, if I wish I saw this as a kid, this is everything I would have probably wanted, and including the titties. So like, this is like what I would have thought was cool. Wish there was a little bit maybe more action in it. I do like the head pops when they get towards the end, when Dean gets a machine gun. I wish there was more of that in the beginning or in the middle, but like, there's still a lot of really, really cool set pieces in this movie.
I'm going to chime in really quickly and say that I agree with you wholeheartedly. This movie's not like, look, y'all, it's a schlocky film, but it's got so many moments where you're like, oh, that was really fun. I like the idea, like in my mind, world building is something that we constantly do on this show. And the infected zombies, whatever mutations, have the ability to land the plane, the mental capacity to do things that are more sophisticated than a zombie because they're not brain dead. And like you said, Corey, Resident Evil 2 or like Resident Evil 4, where there's like this maniacal village, I like the idea of like there being a collective hive brain, a hive mind. And I would love, if someone was to kind of whether redo this or expand on it, like have a collective kind of person that controls everything, that we don't see.
I was expecting that from the doctor, so Dean Miller,
Same.
reporter, the main guy, Hugo Stiglitz, he goes to the airport to interview this doctor. And, the doctor's the first person that comes out of that airplane and then just attacks somebody and then just runs off into the crowd of madness.
Whee!
And you don't see him anymore. And I always kind of feel like I'm going to see him again, like leading the charge, leading the zombies. But no, he was just sort of another one of them. But I feel like if you remade it now, you would make him the head zombie or something,
Well, in the first scene, in the very, very first scene, it's the TV report, isn't it? And it's talking about him, and it says he's been messing around with radiation. So he kind of is the reason why it's implied that he is the reason why these things have been born into this world, these atomic zombies. But you're right, like after there's nothing, is there? And he leads them. That's the thing. Visually, you do think, he's going to have more of an important role because he is the one that leads them from the plane, isn't he? It's like they're conscious enough to know we can't have these like sausage faces just come running off the plane because we're going to die immediately. So we're gonna send.
We got to put the best looking one of us out there
first.
At the
front, and it's the doctor. Yeah, for sure. So it's I know what you're saying. So it would have made more sense, but he does completely disappear from that. But I don't know. I think it's kind of because it's kind of like a Planet of the Apes thing in some ways, where it's like a rise of a new civilization, and I think that's kind of scary. I've always been scared of Planet of the Apes. I've always had this weird thing with Planet of the Apes, and it makes me really uncomfortable that this new kind of life form will appear and then just take everything over. And I remember as a kid, I just didn't like. What was the one? Uprise of the Planet of the Apes? What one is it where the apes completely take control?
Oh,
it's not Beneath Planet of the Apes. Conquest of the Planet of the Apes.
It's like part of two or three.
And they're all wearing they're like kept as pets, aren't they? And they're all wearing jumpsuits and things. And that I saw that as a kid, and that really messed with my mind, big time. And I kind of get those vibes from this about like this race of blood sucking sausage faces want to take over the world, and I don't like it. It kind of creeps me out a bit.
Yeah, and David's not exaggerating, y'all, because if you picture a hot dog that's burnt, where the outer layer kind of crisps up and peels off, that's what they look like. And again, like I'll go back to it, Toxic Avenger, when Toxie's going through his transformation, Melvin the Mop Boy, it looks just like that too.
Yeah, I don't know if you noticed this. Did you notice when like in Dawn of the Dead and stuff like that, when they're coming towards, like the zombies are coming for people and they're going to bite them, there's loads of scenes where people have got their hands on a zombie's face and they're trying to keep the mouth away from them. And in this, actively, when these things are coming close to them, because they're so scabby and disgusting, people put their hands up towards them, but they never touch the face. And I thought that was a really interesting kind of take on it. Like, yeah, he's so disgusting, you don't even want to touch him to push him away.
It's a good point.
And you see other zombies that are not so facially irradiated, and you wonder, like, are those ones that have just recently turned? Because they do talk about, like, you know, the contamination of the blood. That's how they keep reproducing and everything, like a typical zombie. But instead of it being a virus, it's basically your blood gets contaminated by this mutant radiation, I guess. I guess it's not supposed to be regular radiation. Like, yeah, you got to really pay attention to that news program at the very beginning of the movie, because it dumps a lot of information on you right then and there.
In like the first 15 seconds.
The first 15 seconds, it's everything you need. And
if you're like, you need,
and if you're like me, the very first time you watch it, you kind of didn't pay attention to that because you're probably drunk and high. Later on, you're like, why do they look all burnt? But again, it makes total sense when you watch it the next time. You know, and by the way, that news station, BWC, that is a porn term. It stands for Big White Cocks, not to be confused with BBC, Big Black Cocks. So I was like, oh, that's interesting. I do love how this TV station has a live dance show happening, like that they have to just cut in. But when the zombies attack the station, I like how this like one stagehand just finds a dead girl in the back because no one heard her get killed. Like, I thought that was a freaky little moment that she's just like, she has her throat slit back there. And then chaos just ensues at the news station. But what'd you think of that scene, David? The dance scene attack?
I do have to say that when I was a kid, I had a satellite dish. So I used to get a lot of European channels. And these like variety kind of shows with just like women dancing around was a real thing.
That's a real thing.
It's a real thing. Right, Corey, you're going to love me for this. Yeah. You're going to love me for this for the rest of your life.
I already love you, buddy.
Yeah, you're going to love me even more. Right, back in the day, I was explaining to Roxy, because she never had a satellite dish. And she goes, well, what kind of stuff would you watch on there? And I'd said all kinds of stuff, just like these weird German like variety shows and stuff like that. And she goes, a variety show? I said, yeah, check this out. And there's something, just watch the opening to it. Find Tutti Frutti opening RTL channel. And I showed her the opening to Tutti Frutti. And she just looked at me and she goes, this explains everything about your life. And I was like, I think it kind of does. And it was like a fake ship. And they just had all like women in bikinis with big 80s hair just dancing. And it was an hour of that. And then
perfect.
Interview for 5 minutes, back to dancing women. And yeah, I'd watch that every Friday night.
Look,
I'm the perfect, well-balanced human being I am today.
We had this show on ESPN. Corey, do you remember the show on ESPN in the early mornings back in the day? It was a fitness show. Her name's like Tiana Kim or Kiana Tom, that was her name.
Okay.
It was called, I forget the fitness show, but it was like buff dudes, buff girls, all working out all by the beach in like bikinis and banana hammocks, and and that was like, I remember racing to my buddy's house like 6:30 in the morning, 7, because it was on like
turn the TV on.
Yeah, we'd watch that first thing in the morning, then we'd head off to school. Thoughts of sugar plums in our heads.
Of course. Well, and also too, I love the fact that it also proposes a world where like they're also filming this live, like it's just being broadcast live. It's not taped or anything.
No, there was in the Bay Area, and Diallo can attest to this. There was a TV station, TV20. They would do like dance show like every Sunday, just play music while people were dancing around. It was in the live studio.
It was live. It was just happening right then and there, essentially.
Oh yeah, like you could go down to the studio and they're shooting it live.
Man,
so
that's amazing.
Yeah, just find people off the street, that want to come in and dance for an hour. and they would just play whatever top 40 music was going on at the time, and people would be dancing around. And
the people off the street who look like they're from Nightmare City.
Pretty much. Take me down to Nightmare City where I can dance and get eaten by a zombie.
But I think you kind of need that scene. I think you do need that scene.
Great.
Yeah, because everyone sees it.
Because the thing is, it's just like they are completely just invading that space, and there's this, and it's a space of extremely attractive people. And let's be serious, they're the ugliest fucks you've ever seen in your life. Going in there,
like
just
the
slaughtering
actors
everyone.
that they pick for them are real lame-os. Like that one guy who stares into the camera, and I'm like, you have makeup on to make you look uglier, but I'm sorry, but as a human being, I can tell you're still ugly.
Wow. You know, do you remember what is it, Demons 2, right, where they end up in the TV studio at the end of the movie? It reminds me of that. Like this. I want the whole episode. I want the whole movie to take place in that dance studio.
Because that one zombie that's walking towards the camera in Nightmare City, like you're almost expecting him to reach through the camera, and you know they come to that fruition in Demons 2, but it's not here, but it gives you that same vibe.
I think going back and looking at this, there's loads of good stuff going on in there that you kind of took for granted because there was similar things being done elsewhere. Like you're saying about Demons and Demons 2, and do you know what I mean? But when you actually just pinpoint to Nightmare City and think about what's actually, because there's so much that goes on, and it's edited in a way, it goes at such a pace, doesn't it? And you don't really take that much in. When you start actually breaking it down and thinking about what's in there, there's a hell of a lot that's in there which is essentially like a low budget film, and it is quite impactful. You remember things from it. There's images in this film that you just kind of take with you, and you'll always remember. And I think you're right with that scene where he's walking. When you were explaining it then, I could picture that guy's face as he's walking towards the camera, and it is very Demons too. Like you could see him reaching for the screen.
Yeah, and there's a lot of gore in it. There's a lot of like set piece gore, but it's not like Day of the Dead, like roads getting ripped in half or something, but it's still kind of set piece for the movie. You, of course, have your obligatory Italian, a woman getting her boob ripped off. We saw it in Living Dead at Manchester Morgue. The nurse in there gets her boob ripped off. Here,
I'm not into that.
I know. I don't like it either. This one, the dancers gets their boob cut off. I think another one happens somewhere in like Zombie 2 or whatever. We see it there, but it's such an Italian horror thing. But then, like, honestly, my favorite set piece is the hospital. The hospital has so much cool shit happening, like that surgeon who's like operating in the dark, and dude, when the operating room gets attacked by the zombies, he throws his scalpel into one of them like a fucking ninja. I was like, holy shit. And then he gets killed by said scalpel, because it doesn't kill the zombie. But then the zombie starts sucking the blood out of the patient that they're working on. So, like, that guy went under anesthesia and basically never woke up because he got his...
Never woke up.
Like, but the hospital scene is just, it's so much fucking fun. There's so much happening. Freaky as hell when Anna's looking for the plasma in the storage room and that old lady sort of pops up and it's all lit by just her flashlight. That scene is so awesome. I love that little micro moment in the hospital scene. But Zach, keep talking about the hospital shit, man. Anything jump out to you that you enjoyed there?
Yeah, the patients that Anna meets in the beginning, one of them kind of like a Groucho Marx looking dude. And then Jim, the world's greatest, who dies. Like Jim is such a nice little teenager, cute teenage boy where you're like, oh, this kid's gonna do something someday. No, he's not. He's gonna die. And they both get obliterated like later on. But I like the scene, the surgery scene. It's almost like someone has their like iPhone camera light on to film them to keep it lit. It is a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. It's not my favorite set piece of the movie. Mine comes in the third act. But it is definitely enjoyable because there's so many characters that are fleshed out, no pun intended, in a short period of time.
Yeah, and then you kind of, like Jim and stuff like that. You're like, oh, because she has that whole conversation with him. You're going to pull through. You'll be fine. And then she goes to rescue him, and he's already dead. It's like, wow, they killed the kid. I'm always impressed when a horror movie kills the kid, I'm like, that's fun. David, any other, like, while we're on it, any other set kills or whatever in the hospital attack that you enjoyed?
I think the lift scene, the elevator scene.
Oh,
really
yeah.
good. That's great. And you got the old woman in there going, I can't handle anymore. I'm burning up. It's so hot. And then you see the hands bringing it down. It's like, they've saved us. Great. We're going down. And then that's cruel. It is cruel. It feels cruel in a satisfying way for a horror film. It does.
It's got to be cruel in a horror film.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, definitely. But I always like the gas station scene. The gas station scene is something that always kind of pops into my mind, just because I just remember watching this with one of my friends. Like I got that DVD and we hadn't seen it. Like it came out on a VHS over here, but we'd never seen the thing anywhere. And I said to him, "You need to watch this." And we sat there and we got to that scene where he's making the espressos and he's so cash. Everyone's just cash. Everyone's just sitting there. He's smoking, tiny little espresso. And my friend just looked at me and he's like, zombie apocalypse. And they're having a coffee break. And I was like, yeah, just go with it. It's fine.
Just go with it.
They're Italian. It's fine. They need an espresso. It's fine. And a cigarette.
I want to ask you both, though, wouldn't it have been cooler if they, in the opening scene, when they're filming the plane, that if they took it from the perspective of the camera with the cameraman instead of...
and actually almost do like a found footage sort of scenario there.
Wouldn't that have been cool? Like,
we talk about this you almost expect it, but I guess in 2026 you kind of almost expect it. I don't know how it would work back then.
I think a good mix of it. I think a mix of it. I think a mix of that footage, and because I do like some of the stuff that we see when that kicks off, when they come out of that plane. I do like some of the shots in there, the action shots. I think it's pretty good. There's just things in my head that I remember, like the guy. One of the zombie guys gets his arm blown off, doesn't he? And he's kind of standing there holding the stump.
Ah, damn it. I guess I was like channeling, because we all love the Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead, and the final, cut the credits sequence or whatever is maybe the best part of that movie with the found footage. But anyways, gas station scene's epic. It's ridiculous where, like, he's blowing up. He blows up his own car. He basically sacrifices his own car. I'm like, dude, you could have fueled up. You could have been a man and taken him one-on-one. You could have done that. What do? You just blow up the whole thing.
Well, they do have, like, again, when they do dump the information on you, like midway through the movie where the military guys have the body and they're talking about it, they do talk about how these zombies are supposed to have like extra strong strength, faster reflexes and stuff like that. And it kind of doesn't come across, except for that one zombie in the hospital that dodges the baton attack after he jumps over a desk. But like, it doesn't come across that way. But again, you watch it multiple times and you kind of have to put these thoughts in your head. Like, okay, they are supposed to be stronger. You can't, which is an interesting concept, because you can't just, fight them off or beat them off, as I wanted to say, like in other movies. And I always think about Patricia Tallman's character in, Barbara in Night of the Living Dead remake, where she's like, they're so slow. Like, we can walk right past them. And it's like, you can't do that here. They will chase you down, not just the fact that they're fast, but I think one-on-one, we're supposed to lose. Like, we even see at the hospital, one dude gets like main character energy for 1 second and tries to fight one of those zombies. It's right before that girl gets killed in the fountain or whatever in the pond. But he like tries to fight one, and he fights one mano-y-mano, but fucking loses like immediately. But he has this little bit of a glow up.
Is that the guy in the white shirt? He's the guy in the white shirt.
Yeah, he's like, he hits
the
zombie. He's like, and then the zombie just takes him out because it fucking doesn't do anything to him. So I don't know. I think we're supposed to carry that idea with us as we watch it,
Yeah, that makes sense.
Hey everybody, Corey here. I just wanted to let you know that we'll be right back after these short messages. Hello there, Star Wars fans.
And fellow whiskey nerds.
Our podcast, Star Wars and Whiskey Pours, gives you a weekly shot of whiskey reviews,
combined with hot takes from all things in a galaxy far, far away.
So if you need a little Boba Fett and Blantons in your life,
or some Jedi and Jameson, then join me, Adam,
and me, Corey, on the Star Wars and Whiskey Pours podcast.
Found on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all your favorite podcatchers.
May the whiskey be with you.
Hey, everybody. I'm Tim.
And I'm Dean.
and we're the hosts of Talking Back. We're a retro-based podcast covering movies, comics, video games, and more.
Check us out every Monday where we hit the rewind button and dig into some of our favorite content from the past. We like to keep things fun, lighthearted, and informative.
Do you feel like you need more nostalgia in your life? Then check out Talking Back. We're available everywhere podcasts are found.
And now, back to the show.
And let's say also that this is a win for Volkswagens because Volkswagen Beetles.
That thing's bulletproof.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That was a great scene. That was an absolute great scene.
That guy comes off the hood of that thing perfectly, doesn't he? That looked like it hurt when he comes flying off the hood of that. That was good stuff.
I do want to talk about the scene with Sheila, like so.
Oh, Sheila! Every time you gotta say
song.
it.
I know, I love that fucking song.
You're gonna karaoke that at my birthday.
Oh, okay, maybe I
No,
will.
you're not.
No. So she's like the wife of the other general that we're sort of following his story arc. She's way hotter than he should have any right to be getting.
Well, but she does drop that line where, like, you know, are you jealous of me, or what does she say? Where
other men or something like that.
Yeah,
or...
so that tracks.
Yeah, because he's also ugly. He's older and he's ugly. And
well, here in LA, that's kind of commonplace. It's like trophy wife.
That's true. That's true. So. He tells her to, obviously once he gets called on his day off, he tells her to lock, once he finds out what's going on, he calls her back and says, hey, lock all the doors, yada, yada, yada. Really cool scene with her finding the lawnmower just randomly going.
That was great.
I love that. I love little moments like that. But later on, her neighbor comes over and she lets her in, which is like, okay, the guy told you not to do that. Yeah, well, but then the neighbor's like, man, I'm glad I barricaded my coal hole down in the basement. I was like, coal hole? That's what I call my asshole. But when the zombies, so they go down the basement to actually do that at her house, which they could have just barricaded the door. But of course, there's zombies down there. Her neighbor gets the worst death of the movie. She gets stabbed in the chest by this like metal spike, and then she gets her eyeball ripped out by that spike. Then she gets her shirt ripped open and then stabbed multiple times again. It's like, damn, talk about like someone who definitely didn't deserve that level of gore. But David, Sheila alludes to stuff with her sculptures that she's making.
Well, yeah, it kind of happens all the way through the film. I mean, we haven't even got to the ending yet.
No, we
will. Believe me, yeah. We're heading there.
But start peppering in the allusions of what they're alluding to.
Well, this is it, and I think it's kind of interesting. And like we've spoke on it before about Italian films and dream logic. And you have things like Demons, and you're talking about the dream logic in that and the Argento films and everything. But I don't think the dream logic has been any more prevalent than in any Italian film than this one, because it's almost a plot device of the film, a dream logic. And when you first watch it and you hear Jim talking about, I had a dream last night where there was an explosion and my leg got cut off. And then she's kind of she's alluding to. Does she say she's had a dream or she's had visions? I can't remember.
It's almost like I don't know if it's like word wise
inspiration to
it's
make
like
this
inspiration, just like a feeling type of thing. Yeah.
And it's like she's kind of had this inspiration to create this clay face, which is essentially one of the sausage faces. One of the Nightmare City zombie homeless people.
Homeless LA people.
Is LA actually just Nightmare City? Is that the real name for LA?
It's pretty close.
Yeah,
it's pretty close.
Yes.
But I think, there's a zeitgeist in the air of something's going on with dreams, and you get this with a lot of individual characters, but with her, I think it's interpreted. I think the dream stuff is kind of interpreted as she's had some sort of vision or epiphany or inspiration to create this clay sculpture which is essentially like one of the zombies' faces. And on first watch, a lot of these choices seem extremely bizarre, like her and making the clay face.
And Jim,
And you just think, well, this is adding up to nothing, really. But then, if you're talking about dream logic, it is given a context for better or for worse at the end. And I kind of watch it now, and I think now watching it in retrospect, I think it's kind of clever. I do think it's kind of clever. I think I think it's a bit more sophisticated and a bit more clever than you expect an Umberto Lenzi zombie film to be. And I respect it for that.
Yeah, so guys and gals, if you haven't seen it, this is a Groundhog's Day scenario, which is amazing. And like David said, it's kind of like abrupt when you watch it for the first time. At the end, I was like, holy shit, I did not see that coming. But then you actually watch it again, and you're like, oh, no, they do pepper it in, which is interesting.
They build towards it's built up to. It
actually is.
Yeah.
And like, I they could actually have peppered it in a little bit more, but I feel like they did it sparingly. I feel like they did a good job of not really beating your head about it, until the very end. And then it just, you watch it again and you're like, no, it's there. And I know I read online that like, oh, they came up with the idea because they couldn't figure out a way to sort of, finish the story. So just do it like this. But I was like, I don't know. Like it feels pretty, on purpose. It feels like they did build up to that. And it just makes this movie so fucking interesting and so much fun. I am always, dude, Zach, I will always mark out for a Groundhog's Day scenario.
Yeah, look, I think if they did it too much, the stakes wouldn't feel raised. You know what I mean? Like it is appropriate. And even if it was a last minute decision, well, it's a good last minute decision then.
Yeah.
Cause I love it too.
Agree.
Yeah,
because honestly, like at one point, Anna, they're my favorite scene when they're on the roller coaster, and she falls off the roller coaster to her death, the high rise or whatever. Like that was my oh shit moment. Like oh shit, I didn't no idea what was going to happen next. I didn't know it was going to be a dream.
Yeah, no, I mean, the first time I'm watching this, I was utterly shocked. So Dean and Anne are trying to escape a bunch of zombies, and they're going up a roller coaster. They're not like riding it; they're just like kind of walking up it.
Let's go on a
it's just going to ride, And a helicopter comes over, and this is after the general kills his wife Sheila by shooting her in the forehead when he finds out she's a zombie. I love the paintball to the actor's face, to the forehead, and then the dummy behind the camera shots. It's like getting its wig blown off. It's fucking amazing.
I love amazing, y'all. It's a great kill.
So now the general guy is just flying around the countryside looking for survivors, and he lowers a rope to help Dean and Anna up, and they're kind of climbing up the rope and everything. And Anna loses her grip, and she falls and bounces like a rag doll off of the roller coaster. It is awesome. It is amazing.
Yeah.
Never saw it coming my entire fucking. If you told me that at the beginning, never saw that fucking coming. And then like even Dean's like screaming. He's like no, and then he wakes up screaming, and I was like, oh my god. And then the day starts out exactly the same. And, they just give you like 3 or 4 more minutes to show you that it's all going to be the same with the airplane landing and all this kind of stuff. But I was like, oh my God, this is a Groundhog's Day scenario. Oh my God. And then you go back and rewatch and you're like, oh my God, it all makes sense now. It was there. They were telling you it from the beginning.
Deja vu.
I loved it. I think it's great. I think it's, I really dig it. I remember you texting me, because we were kind of having a running commentary when you were watching it.
Because I was really fucking high and drunk, and
you were really high and drunk.
I knew it was like the morning for you, so I was just like, fuck it, I was
just
messaging on
morning.
WhatsApp.
Yeah, it was like 2 in the morning. You was watching that thing, and I just remember your message coming through, and you was like, "What the WTF? That ending, WTF?" and I think back in the day, I think like 10, 15, 20 years ago, like when this came out on DVD, I think people really hated that ending. But now, with stuff like Happy Death Day and like Groundhog Day and just thinking about it in that context, I think people really appreciate it more.
An underrated Groundhog's Day scenario is this movie. I think it was like straight to Hulu, but it was called Palm Springs, with Andy Samberg. And and I love how when these movies come out, like Happy Death Day and that one, they're just like, oh, it's a Groundhog's Day scenario. Like they just call it out. Like
it's
we
just
all
a shorthand now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's shorthand. Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
But
definitely.
This was a fucking Groundhog's Day scenario. 10 years. I don't remember when Groundhog's Day came out, but like years before.
93? It's 93, okay. I think.
Yeah, so like 13 years before Groundhog's Day even came out. And it's just, it's another reason this movie in 2026 feels fresh and contemporary.
Yeah, it's done like it works for this. There was a Emilio Estevez movie in the 80s called Wisdom, where he like kind of goes on. It's like a little bit of a Bonnie and Clyde. Demi Moore's in it too. I think it's when they were dating each other. And at the end of the movie, spoiler, it's all in his mind. He like wakes up from a dream in a bathtub, and the day's gonna start again. You know, it's not Groundhog Day per se. It's more like a dream scenario where it's like, oh, all of that was in his mind, because I think he gets killed at the end of Wisdom, and then he wakes up, right? And you're like, oh, that's such a cop out, you know, those kind of scenarios where you're like, oh, you just didn't want to kill off the main character and have a dark ending. You wanted to have an uplifting. This was like, no, this feels more intentional. You're like, okay, no, now it's really gonna happen. Can he change his fate? That's the question.
Right. And basically, is everyone living the same thing? You know, is it all, can anyone change the fate of things? Can Sheila do something different because she knows, you know, although it does seem like Dean's character is the one that maybe knows the most, because, you know, Jim and Sheila both allude to like visions and feelings and stuff. Whereas I think we're supposed to take away the fact that, you know, he is the one that actually like, oh my God, and he wakes up screaming. So like he is the one that's probably the most central, I guess, to the story.
Or do they all, like Final Destination?
Right. Yeah.
Do you think that end could have benefited from a tiny bit more? You know, like that scene in Groundhog Day when Bill Murray's sitting there and he's like, a gust of wind, a car goes past, someone leaves the door open, and he just knows everything that's happening. Do you think at the end there should have been something where, like, before he like saw someone and they spilt a coffee over themselves or something?
Yeah.
When they're going to, and he's like, oh, okay, well, if this is coming true, and he should have been that tiny bit more aware, because it did seem like, and they probably did, just use the same footage again.
Yeah.
Right.
For the end.
Because he should have been to his cameraman. She should have been like, they're going to fire a flare over there. Yeah, and then all of a sudden the flare goes out, and then the plane's going to land over there, and then we see the plane landing. Like, but I think you're right. I think they just used the same footage, and he's just as oblivious, which I guess if you take it as a dream, we all know that the dream, you forget your dream as the day goes on, you know what I mean? But even if they do use the same footage, the look on his face of concern in the original time you watch it, you're like, oh, he's just sort of waiting, you know, kind of getting his game face on. Now you can maybe construe it as concern, and has a little bit of awareness. But I think but it's also a post Groundhog's Day thing where you're expecting him to be more aware of the situation.
Yeah, definitely.
But like, Zach, to that, the movie about like wisdom and everything, like how come like sometimes like it doesn't work and it feels cheap like that? And then sometimes with like, you know, Jacob's Ladder, it does work. And then sometimes it, you know, the whole dream thing doesn't work. Like, why is that?
I think with this, it's because, you kind of know, you've seen like the worst possible scenario for all of those characters. And there's a kind of suspense with it that, because you do like them. Like we sit there and we say about Hugo Stiglitz's acting and like,
and running
and all that, but
and
you
face.
do. He is kind of in face and his baby face with his stick-on beard. But I'm never going to unsee that, Zach.
Female abuse. Sorry,
you've ruined this film for me.
I just made it that much better.
But I think there is a likability to him. Like he's not completely offensive, and I think Anna's kind of likable as well. And
until he smacks her.
But
and then kisses her.
yeah. But I think when you get to that bit and you're thinking, you're going to see this like happen again, and you've seen all this, or you've seen some of the most awful shit you can imagine for like an hour and a half, and it's just like, I think you've got attached to these characters, and I don't think you want to see it happen again. I think you do care about the characters. I think they give you enough of these characters that you care about them, that you don't want to see it happen again. And I think about that movie. Do you remember that movie Soul Survivor, the one with
yes, the one that the Final Destination and
not that one, the other one. There's that's Soul Survivor.
Oh, you're thinking of the '90s movie.
The '90s movie. It was like Casey Affleck. Yeah, exactly. But that was like, oh yeah, there was this weird cult, and there's like all this shit going down in like a nightclub with like druids and all this, and they get to the very end, and it was a dream. But it's a happy ending with the dream. And it's like, oh, it was all a dream. We're fine and everything's good. But with this, I think it works because there is a sense of dread. Like, oh, this could happen for real. Like it says, the nightmare becomes reality. And I think it feels bad that it's like, oh no. I think you feel that dread. Like, I think at that point it kind of breaks the fourth one. It's like, is it going to happen for real? I think you're thinking, is it going to? Because you've seen it as a dream. Is it going to happen for real? And I think you get invested in that way of thinking for the end of this film.
Well, so wait, you said you see the dream. Do you think it's a dream or do you think it's a Groundhog's Day scenario? Like I look at it as all of that happened, which is why it doesn't ruin it for me, because I look at everything that we saw actually happen. The day just got reset. But do you think it's actually a dream that was in his head?
I think it's kind of like, do you remember The Stand? And there was all those dreams in The Stand of this apocalyptic future and that kind of thing.
See, those more vision.
I think it was more of, like an unconscious vision masquerading as a dream. He's seen a premonition of something in dream that's going to happen. And
like a tachyon from Prince of Darkness.
Yeah. Well, no, Zach, so what do you think, Zach? Do you think it's a dream or do you think it's a Groundhog's Day scenario where everything we saw happened?
I like the idea of it being a vision, but I also like the idea of playing into him like I've been here before, but it is just a dream, not reliving it over. That, I mean, that would truly be a nightmare. I like the idea of
but that's what I mean. It feels like it's like, I don't think there's any
a nightmare in a city. A nightmare.
I don't think there's any kind of feeling that it is a vision, because like the literal text at the end is the nightmare becomes reality. So I think they're kind of telling you this wasn't a vision, this was a nightmare.
Okay.
So
and
I've never thought about it.
Yeah,
I like that idea that it's a Groundhog Day situation, but I've never felt it was that, because I've literally taken for granted what that text is saying at the end, that it was a nightmare, it was a dream, and now it's becoming a reality.
It was a nightmare. It was a city. It was a nightmare city.
The homeless have arrived and they look like sausages.
Yes, with little 6-year-old boys with facial hair.
Do you remember that guy behind the dumpster in Mulholland Drive? Well, you ain't seen nothing yet, kid.
Oh, yeah.
And Zach, kind of going to what you were saying about Prince of Darkness and tachyons and, quantum mechanics and all this kind of stuff. You could even say that maybe it was like, they're getting impressions from an alternate reality. Like every one of these is a different reality that people are kind of, why not? Have fun with it. But that's what makes the movie feel contemporary, even in 2026, So
yeah,
that's what I mean. That there's a lot of stuff going on there. It's interesting to talk about. It's like there's a lot more going on there than you would, you kind of give credit to.
Yeah, no, I knew I loved it when I didn't love it at first with all the makeup and I thought it was trash, but then when it clicked for me halfway through, when I realized it was an actual choice of how these zombies looked, that's when I realized, oh, there's more going on here than I was expecting. And then the movie just kept giving me more and more fun stuff. And then that ending, I was never expecting Anna to die like that, and then Sheila to die like that as well. Both of them were kind of like, Anna more so, because I really did like her character, and I like the fact that they made her a doctor and him the reporter. They could have easily reversed that, and it feels like that would have made it the movie more 1980, but the fact that they made Anna the doctor and him the reporter, kind of what makes it a bit more 2026 contemporary.
Zach, I'm really interested to know, what was the Emilio Estevez film? Wisdom. So at the end of that film, he wakes up in a bathtub and it's a dream.
I think so, yeah. I'm pretty sure.
Is there any illusion at the end of that the nightmare becomes reality? Is there anything like that?
I think because he realizes he's okay, and then I think I haven't seen it in 30 years, but I think Demi Moore is still his girlfriend, and she's like, "Are you okay?" And he's like, "Yeah," and then they kiss or something like that, and the movie kind of ends on an upbeat note where they're still together, because I think she gets killed in the movie and he's about to get killed or something like that in the dream,
When you watched that film, how did that make you feel, that ending?
Oh, I hated it. I remember being like,
that's
what?
the same as Soul Survivor. Yeah, that is the same. See, that I think that's the difference.
Soul Survivor.
Yeah, I hated that film. Because I was totally down for all that '90s horror stuff, and I remember going to the theater to watch that. And I was like, I'm really excited to see another teen slasher film.
Yeah,
and it was kind of okay, nothing great.
David, are you talking about? It's 2001 Soul Survivors with like Wes Bentley and Elijah Dushku.
That's it. Yeah. You're the one we love is Soul Survivor, and that's Soul Survivor.
That was from like 1984 or something like that.
That movie rules, y'all.
That's
if
great.
you've never seen
fantastic.
that.
Yeah,
dude, the Soul Survivor from the 80s, fucking It Follows, ripped it off so hardcore. Watch that movie. Zach, we got to cover that on the show one of these days.
Well, I've been waiting for the Blu-ray to come out. There was like a Spanish version that came out.
Yeah, there's only the Mexican version, which I have. It has, I think the default nature in it is like it's English, but it has Spanish subtitles. But yeah, it's only a Mexican version.
Well, Severin, or not Severin, but one of those companies put it out. Code Red put out one over a decade ago, and then it was a limited edition, so it didn't, last very long. I have the VHS copy. Want to watch the VHS version?
It was one of my favorite VHS covers as a kid that kind of scared me. It was like, the radar image that you see at an airport, that black and green,
God,
but there's a skull coming out of the middle of it. Yeah, it's so fucking good. Myra and I watched that during quarantine, and we fucking loved it. So hardcore.
Remember those days?
Is it weird that I have nostalgia for quarantine?
I have as well. I have the same thing. Yeah,
because we had no worry. We had worries, but really, when you think about it now, because the worries are so much worse, we're like, we really didn't have any worries back then.
But here's the thing about the nostalgia. It's like you look at it now and you go, oh yeah, no, I kind of miss those days. But then when you were in it, you didn't miss those days. Just like the 80s, just like this movie. Like this movie, I think is more enjoyable now because we can look back on it as a time capsule. They did the best they could, and the ideas are, original and fresh then. Still kind of are now, but if you watched it back then, I don't think I would like this movie as much as I like it now.
Agreed. Yeah, I don't think so. And now just to kind of give a recommendation or whatever, I love it. I think it's fantastic. I think it's a lot of fun, and I've seen it within the past 6 months. I've seen it like 4 times now, so I think it's a lot of fun. It's a great movie, and like I said, it weirdly feels contemporary, even though visually it's so very, very 1980.
Oh, definitely. I think we've tapped into something kind of interesting about how dream endings work and how they don't work, because I hated Soul Survivors. I hated that ending.
Fourth time you mentioned that movie.
Because it gets to the end and she wakes up from the dream, and the thing she sees is like Casey Affleck's face, which is kind of offensive anyway. And he's staring into the camera. Yeah. He's staring into the camera, and he's just like, "Oh, honey, it's fine. It was a dream," and it's a happy ending. And that's the same what you're saying about this, like wisdom, like Estevez is like, "Oh, it's all fine, and my girlfriend's loving it. It was a dream, so we're happy." And it doesn't make you feel happy because you feel cheated. Yeah. But with Nightmare City, you watch it, and you feel suspense because it's like you want the happiness to be there, but what you're getting is like the nightmare becomes reality, and you don't want to see. It feels as suspenseful the second time, seeing that plane door open as it did the first time.
Because if it ended with just him waking up and looking at his wife next to him, and you're like,
you would have killed yourself.
It would have sucked. But the fact that they show you that it's all going to happen the way you saw it, that's what makes it good. You need that extra few minutes that they give you. And in Zach, it's again like Prince of Darkness, where he does wake up and he sees her next to him, and it's like a double, sort of a double jump wake up thing at the end, and that works because he's left with that dread because that all really happened. There's no question there.
Oh,
but,
yeah, I mean,
you need that dread.
You need the dread. Yeah, totally. You took the taste right out of my mouth.
Because Jacob's Ladder works because you also know he really is dead.
Oh yeah.
What was that about Jacob's Ladder? Sorry, we were just having a moment.
I know. Jacob's Ladder works because he is dead, and it's like, okay, it has like sort of an ending there. Although I have not seen that movie in forever.
Yeah, but Carnival of Souls, my favorite film, kind of works that way because yeah. But that's a similar kind of Jacob's Ladder ending where you find out the protagonist is dead, and it's like, did all that stuff happen? Did it not happen, or was it a dream? And I think you can accept that more because of the kind of death scenario. It adds a mystique to it. But I think when it's a clean break, like Soul Survivors and Wisdom, where it's just like
fifth time,
it's fine. It's
ring
fine.
a bell.
Everything's happy. Everything's great.
Turn this into a drinking game.
yeah, I know. I can't tell you how much I was offended by that film. I was really offended by it.
Wait, what
offended.
film?
What's the movie called?
It was a movie with starring Casey Affleck called Soul Survivors.
Take a shot.
Guys, we're rolling it back. You know, we opened this thing talking about 20 years ago. What that was 20 years ago, 2001 or whatever. And
so Marty McFly
goes still not over the trauma.
25 years ago, my God.
Wow.
We were talking about Elijah Dushku and Wes Bentley before he, after American whatever.
Yeah, American
movie.
Pie. Yeah, wasn't that 2000 or something?
No,
or
not
99?
American Beauty. American Beauty.
Yeah, American Beauty. Yeah.
With the paper bag, the plastic bag moving around in the wind. You're like, oh, look at that cool shot. Was it though?
No, it wasn't. No,
it wasn't.
No, fucking
it wasn't.
Wow. Oh shit. Any final thoughts, Zach, on Nightmare Titties?
Yeah, I agree with you what you said. I think I like the way it ended. I like it's a bookend. The pros outweigh the cons. It's cheesy, but in the best ways. And for those that like these kind of movies, if you're not familiar with Italian horror, it's super gory, it's super exploitative. So just know that going in. If you've never seen this movie and you're like still on the fence of like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to like this, and you get offended at stuff like that, then don't watch it. But if you don't mind it for what it is, and this is like old school pad for us, this is kind of stuff we started out our first few seasons with. So Nightmare City, I say go for it. There's like 18 different versions on YouTube. You can watch the edited versions and find the dub one because it makes it that much more enjoyable. Because when she's talking to Jim and Jim's talking about her dream in the dub version, she's like, no, you're fine. She's super dismissive to him. And also the reporter, what's his face? Doughboy. I'm just going to call him D-Boy. Doughboy. Doughboy is like, he's so wimpy in the dub version. He's like, no. When he's saying like, no, he goes, no. It's really funny. And sometimes the male voice doubles for the female voice, but but with the same male tone. It's hilarious. So enjoy it for what it is. I'm so glad David introduced it. If it wasn't for David, I never would have watched Nightmare City. So thanks for introducing me, David.
Yeah, totally same. And also be on the lookout for multiple times a male stuntman is playing a woman in a dress and a wig, especially
fantastic.
On the roller coaster.
On the roller coaster.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I can see him
So
in my
good.
mind's eye.
So I love it. Fucking love it. David, final thoughts.
I think if you like, I think this is kind of like unseen by a lot of like zombie people. I think go out and check it out. Definitely, if you've just like clicked on this episode randomly, you should do it. I think it's a real treat. I think it's a real hidden gem. Just because the size, like it's a low budget film, but the scale and scope of it, like the amount of locations and the things that happen, it feels big. It feels like a big movie for a low budget movie in 1980, and I just highly recommend it. And I highly recommend getting the soundtrack as well. I do a lot of writing, and that soundtrack is like a go-to. It really gets you pumped up. It's great stuff. So yeah, it's go for it. Buy the Arrow Blu-ray today. Or
the
Kino Blu-ray. Yeah.
Or the Raro video. The Raro. Such a weird.
That's like a 3-year-old making up noises.
Yeah, and it's weird because it almost has like a look of like Code Red because it's like black and red or whatever, but it's not. It's not Code Red though.
The box art's terrible, by the way.
Yeah, the Arrow Blu-ray is much better.
Yeah. Let's have a look at this thing. That was there's a UK release and it uses that artwork. Yeah. I've seen it a few times.
Well, that's actually not even there's the slipcover that comes with it. It's like a woman getting her face torn.
Is it the melted face?
Yeah, it's the melted face one. Yeah.
You want to know something? That's stolen artwork from an old paper bag. Yeah. It is. I was going out with a girl years ago, and I had a version of Nightmare City. I think I had it on VHS. in the end, and it had that cover with the face, and this girl was going, I've got the novelization to this, and I was like, the novelization to Nightmare City, seriously? And she pulled out some random paperback, and it was like, oh no, they've literally just stolen the artwork.
They've just taken the artwork.
yeah, completely.
I by the time I'm recording this, I already put it together, but I used the Arrow artwork for the cover image because that is the superior one.
The best.
Way better.
Yeah. Oh, David, buddy, thank you so much for coming on. I think obviously we'll have you on more, but maybe when we do Nightmare Beach as well, we'll have you on for that one because that's a fun movie. Oh,
please do. Yeah, I love that movie. Yeah,
me too.
Great.
Yeah, we'll make Zach watch it. But tell everyone, give us some books that they can pick up of yours, some novels, and maybe some novelizations that are coming. Whatever you want to plug, my friend.
There's a lot of stuff going on. I mean, like the whole back catalogue's out there. Don't Go to Wheelchair Camp and Wolf Moon, all the usual stuff. But the big news is novelization front, and I'm halfway through writing the novelization to Nightwish, the 1989 film with Brian Thompson, kind of a paranormal. There's a lot of dream stuff in there as well. I don't know if you've seen that one.
I have seen it.
You guys. Yeah, very much similar in the vein that we're talking about now with dreams within dreams and all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of a trip writing that movie.
And I think Kino is putting out a 4K. I think just a few weeks ago they announced that a 4K or something is coming out. So we'll definitely pick that up.
This is how it kind of works with these novelizations that come out, because it's once someone secured the rights to re-release the movie, it's a hell of a lot easier to get a novelization produced and published. But with the same publisher, Echo On Publications, really great guy named Christian that runs it. We were talking, and this is kind of like the top tier golden novelizations for me. And that's I am writing the official novelizations to Black Roses and the 80s heavy metal Trick or Treat. And that is, nice. Oh no, I was completely over the moon about that. It's funny the way it came around, because I wrote my own like heavy metal horror novel, Hell for Leather.
Yeah.
And when I met Christian, he just zoned in on me, and he was just like, oh, "You wrote that heavy metal book, didn't you?" And I was like, "Yeah." And and immediately he goes, "How would you like to do Trick or Treat official novelization?" And I was like, "Yeah, right place, right time." In a horror convention over here in the UK. And it just all kind of fell into place. And honestly, I feel extremely privileged and lucky to be doing that. I think the Trick or Treat novelization is going to be a bit of a game changer, because there's a big following for that movie, and there's an official Facebook page. And when I posted it up there, the amount of messages and comments and stuff I had on it was like unreal. So that's kind of a big thing.
Both of those VHS covers are burned into my memory. I think I've seen both of them like once, way back in the day, but they weren't like in heavy rotation. But I'm looking forward to doing a lot of like cross promotion and maybe having you on to talk about the movies when we review them. So keep us in the loop on all of that stuff, because it's freaking awesome. I love it. I mean, these are right in our wheelhouses.
Completely. Yeah. This is like complete cross promotion dream. Nightwish is going to be out way sooner than the other two, but there's going to be kind of a big deal made out of Black Roses and Trick or Treat, because we're literally doing a simultaneous release. They're both coming out on the same day.
Awesome.
They're both got the same fan, but you're hitting the same group of people with those things.
Yeah.
So we're just going to hit it hard and put those ones out. And I just feel really fortunate, honestly, and grateful that I've got those. That is a dream come true. That is, in my mind, Trick or Treat is like top tier novelization material.
I'm happy for you, my friend. I'm glad that's happening.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
And it's like we're living in a new golden age of novelizations for all these movies that never had them back in the day. So it's really, really cool to see it, happening and everything.
I do want to ask when the novelization of Soul Survivor is coming out.
Soul Survivor or Soul Survivors?
Soul Survivors, sorry. The one with Eliza Dushku.
Yeah.
Casey
Affleck.
Casey's a douchku.
Yeah, we can. You can wait as long as you want for that one. Let's just put it that way. Yeah.
Hey, it's me, Casey Affleck. You want to make a movie with me? No, I don't need to be groped. Thanks.
Oh, is he a groper?
Oh no, really?
Yeah, he got temporarily canceled, I think.
Oh, okay.
For something.
Got Me Too'd, yeah.
For something, he did something inappropriate. But
okay.
Yeah.
That's literally how that film ends, with that voice, and he goes, "Honey, you're alive. You're awake. Oh, wow."
If it wasn't for my brother, I wouldn't be acting.
I wouldn't be worth shit if it wasn't for Ben. Oops, I'm saying the quiet part out loud again.
Voyage of the Mimi is so much better than anything I've ever done in my entire life. Can't stand that guy.
Clearly. No doubt. Zach, what's going on to our late feed this month?
When's this coming?
No idea. I think it's dropping in July, like late June, early July. So what's July's theme over at $2 late fee?
Oh gosh, well June was a grab bag because it was my birthday month. A little bit of everything. We got He-Man episodes, He-Man and Ernest episodes, and interviews galore. July is going to be mostly Deathstalker stuff. We've got Stephen Kostansky joining us on 80s Kids Unite. So it's one part interview, one part love of our sword and sorcery movies. Got an interview with Blitz Berlin dropping on both Pad and $2.
Yep.
All of these are going to be dropping on both. We're going to be just dropping bombs everywhere.
Deathstalker bombs.
Yeah. And then, probably some... There's a lot of stuff going on. Anyways, the summer months are the theme is all over the place, but there will be a consistent theme of like Deathstalker-y type stuff. So definitely tune in to $2, 80s Kids, Territory Marks, Podcasting After Dark, Cha-Cha Loopy, Baba Bing Bang Boom, and screw Casey Affleck.
And David, you need to watch Deathstalker.
I know I do. You guys have totally sold that film to me. Yeah, I know.
It's way better than Soul Survivors.
I will. I'll make a point of it. Wasn't there like a 4K double pack of like the original
Soul Survivors?
Yeah, so it has a 4K.
Fucking hell, imagine that. Soul Survivor and Soul Survivors. One of these things is not like the other.
Dawn of the Disc just posted Soul Survivors coming. No, please don't.
The Shout is putting out a 4K steel box. It's got Deathstalker 1, Deathstalker 2, and then the 2025 one, Steve Kostansky. But Deathstalker 1 and 2 have audio commentary by Steve Kostansky on there for those movies. So it should be a lot of fun. I put my pre-order in already for them.
I'm totally going to grab it. And I'm going to get the Strange Behavior, Dead Kids. Your content. Yeah,
we're
Good stuff.
That's amazing.
Yeah, we're going to have another...
That's brilliant stuff.
Yeah, we're going to have a re-review. We're going to have our friend Luna on to talk about Dead Kids. Because, Dave, we're kind of doing that with some of the earlier episodes, way back in the day. And it's fun to have a little bit of a newer perspective, and especially since she's a bit younger. So I'm curious to see what she thinks of the dance sequence in Strange Behavior, a.k.a. Dead Kids.
Again.
Fucking love that scene so much.
I don't know if I've ever told you about this. I had a really weird coincidence when the first time I ever watched that film, I went to someone's house the next day to do like a job. I was working there or something. And they were just playing random stuff on their stereo, and that song came on, and I was like,
Whoa.
What the hell is happening in this world?
You had your
right
own
now?
Nightmare City scenario.
Yeah. The nightmare became reality.
And then he turned into the bathroom, and not instead of Dan Shore's bare ass, he saw Casey Affleck's bare ass. And he's like, hey, have you seen Soul Survivors?
He says, I know that ass from Soul Survivors. Hey.
Want to make a movie?
Oh, David, thanks so much for being on the show. Always love having you, buddy. I think this year we're gonna have a lot more David Irons on, and I couldn't be fucking happier about that. And,
Roy.
Here we go, boys. More David Irons. He's better than no David Irons. So let's add me to the mix.
That's right, baby. And as always, David,
aim for the brain.
I'll catch you on the dark side.
Be sure to subscribe to Podcasting After Dark on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. You can support the show by joining our Patreon page, picking up a t-shirt from our merch store, or leaving us a 5-star review. Follow us on Instagram at Podcasting After Dark. All links can be found on our website at www.podcastingafterdark.com. And join us next time for another cult movie or TV show review with Corey Stevenson and Zach Schaefer.
Have you been wondering where's the beef? Well, on our podcast, Throwback Trivia Takedown, you might just find that out, as well as some other things about the 70s, 80s, and 90s.
We're a nostalgic-based trivia show that pits two challengers head-to-head in a duel of the decades, with categories ranging from movies, TV and music, to slang, food, and fashion. You're sure to get the best in retro-themed trivia.
So strap on your jelly shoes, grab a Surge, and walk like an Egyptian to your favorite podcast app and check out Throwback Trivia Takedown.
I heard even Mikey likes it.